Hi, good evening, Saints. I wanted just to quickly show my Gospel Tract ministry operations. This is actually in our garage area, and it's a fairly small garage. It's not very big, and I'm just making this quick video just to inspire some of you guys to start your own Gospel Tract ministry in whatever space capacity you have. You can even do it right through your apartment if you do live in an apartment. You don't have to have a large space. You don't have to spend $15,000 on a printing machine or 20,000. You can do it with just very less money than that. And this is my little setup. It's not very big, and like I said, our garage space is very small, but uh, it's as you can see, it's pretty small, not very big. And this desk actually is an old IKEA desk. It's a simple IKEA desk. It used to be my wife's desk before for her vanities, so I took it, and that way it saved me just a few bucks. That way I didn't have to spend money. And your setup doesn't have to be, as you can see, mine is pretty simple. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't have to break your bank to spend um, on a desk setup. You can just buy a simple desk from really anywhere and use that as your operations table. And here I have this is my large uh, laser printer. It's a high volume laser printer. It's from Brother. The printer, Brother, these are very good. And I actually got this one at a local office supply store. I actually got it on sale, so I got it for a good deal. I think it was retailing for like $500, but I got it for like I believe 300. So it was a good deal. At that time, I invested about $300, 400, and I bought this high volume laser printer. Before that, I was using an inkjet desk, DeskJet inkjet, and those things are very slow. And for gospel tracks, you're gonna need definitely a high volume laser printer. It doesn't have to be this exact size. It can be something a bit smaller, but something that's black and white only, a laser printer, and that's going to be a high volume, uh, or it's able to print high volume. That's exactly what you need for gospel tracks. And then over here, as I printed some of these, I've been printing some tracks today and yesterday. I'm getting ready to cut some more tracks, so I lay them here. This is a paper guillotine. It's from the Westcott brand, as you can see up here. And I actually invested in this. I bought it for $100. I used to use a smaller paper guillotine. And here, let me just show you guys. Uh, this is what I used to use for my gospel track operations. This is my very first paper guillotine, and I got it for like $40 at the time. This was years ago. These days, I don't use this anymore since I already upgraded to my paper guillotine. This one, I got this for $100. So I invested $100, and I went out and bought this at a local office supply store. And I'm able to actually cut more. It has more cutting power. The package said it was able to cut 30 pages at a time, and I don't cut 30 pages at once because when you cut too many tracks, it starts to tug the papers. What ends up happening is that you're going to start cutting off letters from the tracks. So really, I only cut 8 papers at a time. So I do cut 8 papers at a time. But this is what I have, and so far so good. It's been very good to cut. It's very smooth. It's very precise. And this is the printer and my simple IKEA desk, as you can see. Down here I have this is my box that I bought at Walmart. I actually recently purchased this. This is where I keep my paper packs. As you can see, this is Walmart paper that I buy. I buy their big, massive pack. It's from their own brand. It's just plain old copy white paper. And what I have on top of the box is this tray that I got at Dollar Tree. And once I have my tracks stacked here, I usually just put them on the tray and then I'll leave them there until once I'm ready to use them. Then I'll start cutting them and I'll bring them up here and I'll keep getting the papers from here, and then I'll transfer the papers up here once I'm ready for them to cut, and then I'll keep cutting them. And right here, this drawer, it's a simple plastic drawer. You can get something like this at Walmart. This is my outreach books that I use when I'm evangelizing, specifically for believers only, not for the unbelievers. What you're going to need, this is where I have my pretty much simple rubber bands for putting or tying your tracks once they're ready. Once you folded them, I always put 2 rubber bands per stack. That way it holds them in place. And then I have my silicone fingertips that I use when I'm flipping through the papers, because I'm grabbing the stack and I need to grab them by 8. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it helps a lot rather than using just your fingers, because our fingers are pretty slippery. So I use the silicones. So it helps a lot when you're counting the papers, and it actually saves time. So I definitely I recommend having that. And well, I don't have all the books, but these are some of the books that I give out. I give out in 4 in total. I don't buy more than that. Eternal Security by Dr. Curtis Hudson, a good one. And then Study Guide on the Holy Spirit by Chuck Smith. And these are 2, and then there's another one that I use, or 2 more that I use, and that's it. I don't use more than that. And I'm going to go ahead and put these books there. So usually what I do is I'll put those books along with some yellow paper folders. That way it keeps them intact as I give them out. I don't have to give out each book separately. And then these last 2 drawers are just for gospel tracts. That one doesn't have anything. But as you can see, this is where I keep a lot of my tracts. And this is how they look once they're cut. And I put 2 rubber bands per 100. I fold them all by 100. So each stack has 100 tracks. So that's just the way I do it. And I've been doing it that way for many, many years. And as you could see, up here, the cuts do not come out perfect. When obviously you're doing it by hand, none of the tracks ever come out perfectly. No one cut is ever the same. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your own cutting. They never come out the same. And this is already straight, but as you could see, the cuts just don't come out perfectly. And this is pretty normal, especially when you're cutting by hand. Don't expect perfect cuts. I mean, the guillotine does cut straight lines. However, the cuts when you're cutting each track by hand, they're not going to come out exactly perfect as you would think, as per se a machine that does it way perfectly. But this is pretty much my tracks. These are all for my own personal use, my personal ministry. And when I go out as our street evangelism ministry from our church. I usually go on Mondays, but I just wanted to quickly just show you guys the simple operations. And this is my cart that I take when I'm out doing street evangelism. I'll have a sign that says free Bibles, and in the back of this cart I have the name of our church for people that are interested and want to know what church we belong to. And these are all King James versions. It's the only translation I use because it's God's perfect preserved word in our English language. And these are just simple paperbacks that I got at christianbook.com. This was years ago. And Paperbacks, you can usually christianbook.com definitely sells these. This is put out by Hendrickson Publishers, and the paperbacks are actually not that bad of a quality. It has a glossy front. I don't know if you guys could see that through the video, but the front of this is glossy. So I think they have a deal where it's like you buy a bulk of these. I believe the box comes with 24 in total, and it's like $50. Uh, I don't know if that's still the same price because, as I said, I bought these years ago, and I was actually doing street evangelism on pretty recent, and I had some people grab a couple Bibles, which was nice to see. In every Bible, I always stamp our church information. That way people know what church we're from, Calvary Chapel, and we put our church name. I stamp our church name and our church website, so if people that want to know or that are local, they can check us out and just, visit us on a Sunday or even join our church. It's always important to put information as you're handing out material. That way people can have a following and know what church you belong to and possibly join your church, or, that's always a good thing. It's a simple card that I got at an office supply store. And I like this card because people that see the sign, they can just easily come over and pick up a Bible, and it makes it a lot easier for them to reach in. And that's pretty much my setup. It's very, very simplistic, and you don't have to spend, as I said, $15,000 to $20,000 for a printing machine. You don't have to have a large facility to do a simple gospel tract ministry operations. You can just do it right from your own place and just work with what you have. We live in a small duplex, so it's not very, very big, and our garage is very small, so I don't need a large enough space for what I do. I think this is a perfect setup, and if you live in an apartment or something a lot smaller, you could still do it right from your apartment. You don't need a large space. And as far as for folding, I usually just remove this, and then I put it down here with the box, and then that way it gives me a clear space where I'm able to fold the tracts. And then once I'm done, I'll put the guillotine back, and I start the process again with the cutting, the printing, cutting, and then folding. So thank you for watching this little tour of mine of where my operations, this gospel tract ministry. Hopefully I inspired some of you guys on starting your own gospel tract ministry. And if you have any questions, please let me know at the bottom of the video. That way I can answer anything you guys have. So thank you for watching, and God bless.